The last signal. The red dust of the Australian outback swirled around Captain Sarah Mitchell as she crouched behind the twisted remains of what had once been a communications tower. Her breathing was labored, and blood seeped through the makeshift bandage wrapped around her left shoulder. In the distance, the low hum of Valkyrie hovercraft grew louder with each passing second. Sarah looked at the small device in her hands. It was humanity's last hope for communication, a quantum transmitter that could send a signal anywhere on Earth or even beyond. She had promised herself she would use it only when all else was lost. That moment had arrived. The Valkyrie Empire had conquered Earth 15 years ago, not through massive destruction, but through calculated precision. They had targeted military installations, government centers, and communication networks first. Within 6 months, organized human resistance had crumbled. What followed was not extinction, but something worse. Slow, methodical harvesting of Earth's resources, while humans were relocated to controlled zones. Sarah had led one of the last free human settlements, a group of 300 survivors who had managed to stay hidden in the harsh outback for over a decade. They had lived like their ancestors, using minimal technology to avoid detection. But yesterday, a Valkyrie patrol had discovered their water source. The hunt was over. She pressed the activation sequence on the transmitter. The device hummed to life, its screen showing a global map with potential receivers. Most of the world showed empty signals, dark zones where no human technology operated anymore. But there, in the mountains of North America, a faint signal responded. "This is Captain Sarah Mitchell of the Australian Free Colony." She spoke into the device, her voice steady despite the approaching danger. "If anyone receives this message, know that the human spirit is not broken. We have fought, we have survived, and we have learned. To whoever finds this signal, the resistance continues. Remember us." The hovercraft appeared over the ridge, their sleek forms cutting through the desert air like silver arrows. Sarah tucked the transmitter into her jacket and stood, raising her hands as the Valkyrie soldiers descended. Thousands of miles away, deep beneath the Rocky Mountains of Montana, an alarm chimed softly in a facility that had been silent for 15 years. Dr. James Harrison looked up from his workbench, where he had been carefully assembling a piece of technology that no human should have been able to create. The underground facility had once been a mining operation, but James and his team of 50 survivors had transformed it into something far more significant. When the Valkyrie invasion began, James had been working on a classified project for the military, an attempt to understand alien technology captured from earlier, smaller incursions. When Earth fell, his team had gone deep underground, sealing themselves away with enough supplies for decades. "James, you need to see this," called Dr. Lisa Park, his chief communications officer, who had been monitoring radio frequencies out of habit more than hope. James walked over to the communication station, his footsteps echoing in the vast underground chamber they had carved out over the years. The walls were lined with technology that looked like a fusion of human engineering and something far more advanced. "We received a quantum transmission," Lisa said, her voice filled with excitement and disbelief. "It's from Australia. A human signal." James listened to Sarah's message 3 times, each replay sending chills down his spine. They weren't alone. After 15 years of believing they might be among the last free humans on Earth, someone else was still fighting. "Bring everyone to the main chamber," James ordered. "It's time they knew what we've really been doing down here." Within an hour, all 50 members of the underground colony had gathered. They were scientists, engineers, soldiers, and civilians who had become family over the years of isolation. Many had grown gray in the artificial light of their hidden world. Some had children who had never seen the surface. James stood before them, his weathered face serious but filled with new purpose. Behind him, covered by a large sheet, stood something that would change everything. "Friends," he began, "today we received proof that the human resistance is still alive on the surface. Captain Sarah Mitchell of Australia has sent us a message. Her colony has fallen, but her spirit remains unbroken. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Some wept quietly, others clenched their fists in determination. For 15 years, we have lived in hiding, James continued. But we have not been idle. We have studied, we have learned, and we have built something that will give humanity a fighting chance. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Some wept quietly, others clenched their fists in determination. For 15 years, we have lived in hiding, James continued. But we have not been idle. We have studied, we have learned, and we have built something that will give humanity a fighting chance. He pulled away the sheet, revealing a figure that looked human but was clearly enhanced. The body was tall and muscular, with visible biomechanical augmentations along the arms and legs. The skin had a slight metallic sheen, and the eyes glowed with soft blue light. "This is the prototype for Project Renaissance," James explained. "We have learned to merge human biology with Valkyrie technology, not to replace our humanity, but to enhance it, to give us the tools we need to fight back." Dr. Elena Rodriguez, the team's biologist, stepped forward. "The volunteer program begins tomorrow. We can enhance strength, speed, endurance, and healing capabilities. The process is irreversible, but it will allow us to match Valkyrie soldiers in combat." "But that's not all," added Marcus Thompson, their former military tactician. "James has developed a communication network that the Valkyrie can't detect. We can coordinate with other survivor groups worldwide." Over the following weeks, the underground facility transformed from a hiding place into a command center. They discovered 13 other hidden colonies across the globe, in the Himalayas, the Amazon rainforest, the Sahara Desert, and the depths of Siberia. Each group had survived through different means, but all shared the same determination to reclaim their world. The enhancement process began with volunteers. Maya Chen, a former aerospace engineer, was among the first. The procedure took place in a sterile chamber deep within the facility, surrounded by machines that hummed with alien energy patterns James had learned to harness. "The transformation will take 72 hours, Dr. Rodriguez explained as Maya lay on the biomechanical table. "You'll experience cellular reconstruction, neural pathway enhancement, and integration of Valkyrie biotechnology. When you wake up, you'll be stronger, faster, and more durable than any baseline human." Maya nodded, her eyes filled with determination. "For Sarah Mitchell, for all the humans we've lost, for the future." As the process began, energy coursed through Maya's body, rewriting her genetic code and integrating alien nanotechnology into her cells. Around the facility, others prepared for their own transformations. James worked tirelessly in his laboratory, perfecting weapons that could penetrate Valkyrie armor and shields. He had learned their weaknesses over years of study. The Valkyrie were physically powerful and technologically advanced, but they relied too heavily on their equipment. Humans, he had discovered, were more adaptable, more creative in their thinking. "The surface resistance may have fallen," James said to his team as they prepared for their first mission to the outside world. "But humanity's true strength has always come from below. From the mines, the caves, the hidden places where we learned to survive against impossible odds." The first enhanced humans emerged from their transformation chambers changed but still recognizably human. They moved with fluid grace, their enhanced muscles allowing feats of strength and agility that matched Valkyrie capabilities. But in their eyes burned something the aliens had never possessed, the unquenchable human will to be free. Lisa had established contact with the other hidden colonies. Each reported similar technological breakthroughs, different approaches to the same goal. The facility in Tibet had developed cloaking technology. The Amazon group had created biological weapons that specifically targeted Valkyrie physiology. The Sahara colony had built vehicles that could travel vast distances without detection. Humanity never died, James realized as he watched his enhanced soldiers prepare for their first surface mission. "We just went underground to evolve." The mission was simple but significant. They would retrieve supplies from a Valkyrie storage facility 50 miles away. But more importantly, they would announce to the galaxy that Earth's children were not conquered. They were transformed, adapted, and ready to fight back. As Maya led the first enhanced team toward the surface for the first time in 15 years, she carried with her not just advanced weapons and enhanced abilities, but something more powerful: the knowledge that humanity's greatest victories had always come from its darkest hours. The Valkyrie had conquered the surface, but they had never suspected what was growing in the depths below. Earth's silent watchers were awakening, and they brought with them the fury of 15 years of preparation and the combined ingenuity of a species that had never truly surrendered. The real war for Earth was about to begin. The Underground Revolution. 6 months after the first contact with Captain Sarah Mitchell's signal, the world above ground began to experience what Valkyrie reports would later describe as impossible human activities. Supply convoys vanished without trace. Communication arrays suffered mysterious malfunctions. Most disturbing of all, Valkyrie soldiers on patrol duty began reporting encounters with humans who moved too fast, struck too hard, and seemed to anticipate every tactical decision. Commander HFY stood in the central command center of what had once been New York City, now renamed Processing Station Alpha by the Valkyrie Empire. The towering alien observed multiple holographic displays showing reports from across the conquered planet. His 4 arms moved in agitation as he processed the information. Sector commanders report 17 supply depot attacks in the past month, reported his aide, a younger Valkyrie named Veltar. The humans responsible demonstrate capabilities that exceed baseline human parameters by significant margins. HFY's golden eyes narrowed. Enhanced humans. The reports suggested this possibility, but I dismissed it as impossible. Humans lack the technological sophistication for biomechanical augmentation. What the Valkyrie commander didn't know was that beneath his feet, in the abandoned subway tunnels and forgotten maintenance corridors of the old city, Maya Chen and her enhanced team were preparing for their most ambitious mission yet. Maya's transformation had been perfect. She could lift half a ton with ease, run at speeds that would blur to normal human vision, and her enhanced nervous system allowed her to process battlefield information with computer-like precision. But the most important enhancement was invisible. Her mind remained purely human, driven by emotions and motivations that no Valkyrie strategist could fully comprehend. Intelligence confirms the primary command nexus is located in the former Empire State Building. Maya briefed her team of 12 enhanced humans. Dr. Harrison's analysis suggests that if we can plant the quantum disruptor at the base of their power core, we can disable their entire North American communication network. The team members around her represented the finest achievements of Project Renaissance. There was David Kim, enhanced for stealth and reconnaissance, whose modified cellular structure could bend light around him for near invisibility. Sarah Williams specialized in electronic warfare, her neural implants allowing her to interface directly with both human and Valkyrie computer systems. Marcus Rodriguez had been enhanced for demolitions and heavy assault, his reinforced skeleton and muscle fibers, making him nearly as strong as a small vehicle. Remember, Maya continued, we're not just striking a military target. We're sending a message to every hidden human colony on the planet. Tonight, the world learns that humanity never surrendered. We just learned to fight smarter. Meanwhile, in the Montana facility, Dr. Harrison coordinated with underground colonies across 6 continents. The communication network he had developed used quantum entanglement principles reverse-engineered from captured Valkyrie technology, making the signals impossible to intercept or trace. Tibet base, report status. Harrison spoke into his quantum communicator. Ready for synchronous operation, came the reply from Dr. Patel, leader of the Himalayan colony. Our cloaking technology is fully operational. We can make their mining operation in Sector 7 disappear from all sensors for exactly 47 minutes. Amazon base, confirmation needed, Harrison continued. Confirmed, Montana base, responded Dr. Santos from Brazil. Our bioweapon dispersal system is prepared. Any Valkyrie forces entering the Sao Paulo processing center will experience complete system shutdown within minutes. Non-lethal, but completely incapacitating. Similar confirmations came from hidden bases in the Sahara, Siberia, Antarctica, and the Pacific island chains. 15 years of separation had ended. Humanity was coordinating again, but this time with capabilities that would have seemed like magic to their ancestors. The synchronized global operation began at midnight GMT. In New York, Maya's team infiltrated the Valkyrie Command Center through maintenance tunnels that had been forgotten since the invasion. David's stealth enhancements allowed him to scout ahead, invisible to both visual and electronic detection systems. Corridor clear, his voice whispered through their neural communication network. 30 meters to the main power core chamber. Sarah Williams placed her hand on a Valkyrie access panel, her enhanced nervous system interfacing directly with the alien computer network. Information flowed through her consciousness like a digital river. Security protocols, patrol schedules, communication frequencies. "I'm in their system," she reported. "Maya, you have a 12-minute window before the next security sweep." Maya moved through the facility with inhuman grace, her enhanced reflexes allowing her to navigate laser grids and pressure sensors that would have stopped any normal human. The quantum disruptor was a device no larger than her fist, but it contained enough destructive potential to cripple Valkyrie operations across an entire continent. As she reached the power core chamber, Maya paused. Through the transparent walls, she could see the heart of Valkyrie technology on Earth, a massive crystalline structure that pulsed with energy patterns she had learned to recognize during her enhancement process. For a moment, she thought about all the humans who had died during the invasion, all the families separated and colonies destroyed. "For Captain Mitchell," she whispered, placing the disruptor against the core's primary support structure. Across the planet, similar scenes played out simultaneously. In Tibet, Valkyrie mining equipment simply vanished from all detection systems, causing confusion and resource shortages. In Brazil, an entire Valkyrie garrison found themselves unable to move or think clearly, their biosystems overwhelmed by precisely targeted biological agents. In the Sahara, underground human vehicles emerged from the sand to strike at processing facilities before disappearing again like mirages. But the most significant action took place in the orbital command ship above Earth, where Elder Korvac, the Valkyrie Empire's senior administrator for the Sol system, watched his holographic displays fill with impossible reports. Elder, reported Commander Zexai via quantum communication, "We are experiencing coordinated attacks across all major installations. The humans are demonstrating technological capabilities that rival our own." Korvac was ancient by Valkyrie standards, old enough to remember when his people had first begun their expansion across the galaxy. He had overseen the conquest of 47 worlds, and he understood something that younger Valkyrie did not. There was a difference between defeat and submission. "Commander," Korvac said slowly, "in all our previous conquests, how long did it take for resistance movements to completely cease?" "Typically 18 to 36 months, Elder. The conquered species either submit or face extinction. And how long has Earth been under our control?" 15 years, Elder. Korvac's equivalent of a smile appeared on his alien features. 15 years, and they have not submitted. They have adapted. They have learned. They have become something new. At that moment, Maya's quantum disruptor activated. The explosion wasn't visible, but its effects rippled through every Valkyrie system in North America. Communication networks crashed. Hovercraft fell from the sky as their power systems failed. In the command center, emergency lighting cast eerie shadows as backup systems struggled to maintain basic functions. Maya and her team extracted successfully, but not before Sarah Williams had downloaded the complete Valkyrie database for Earth operations. As they made their way back to the underground tunnels, Maya's enhanced hearing detected something that made her pause. In the distance from buildings across the city came a sound that hadn't been heard in 15 years. humans cheering. The people in the controlled residential zones had seen the Valkyrie facility go dark. They had witnessed their oppressors' technology fail. Hope, long buried, began to stir again. Over the following weeks, the effects of the coordinated strike rippled across the globe. Valkyrie forces found themselves dealing with opponents who seemed to anticipate their every move, who struck from impossible directions, and who possessed technology that should not have existed. But more importantly, the surface population began to show signs of renewed resistance. Underground colonies made contact with civilian populations, sharing technology and coordinating activities. Humans who had accepted their fate 15 years ago began to remember what it meant to be free. In his orbital command ship, Elder Korvac made a decision that would change the course of galactic history. He contacted the Valkyrie High Council directly. "Honored Council," he reported, "I request immediate conference regarding the Sol system situation." When the Council's holographic forms materialized around him, Korvac chose his words carefully. "The species we know as humans has demonstrated remarkable adaptive capabilities. In 15 years of occupation, they have not only maintained resistance, but have evolved technologically to match our capabilities. Are you suggesting they pose a threat to the Empire?" asked the High Chancellor. "I am suggesting they pose an opportunity," Korvac replied. "We have encountered 47 species in our expansion. 46 submitted or were eliminated. Humans represent something unprecedented, a species capable of technological evolution under pressure. They could become valuable allies rather than conquered subjects." The Council deliberated for hours while on Earth. Enhanced humans continued their operations. Dr. Harrison received reports from every continent, successful strikes, rescued civilian populations, and most importantly, proof that humanity's underground network had grown to include thousands of enhanced individuals and tens of thousands of regular humans in hidden colonies. When Elder Korvac returned to Earth's surface, he came not with an invasion force, but with a small diplomatic contingent. The meeting took place in neutral territory, the ruins of the United Nations building in New York, now surrounded by both Valkyrie forces and enhanced human soldiers. Maya Chen stood across from Commanders XI, two enhanced beings representing their respective species. The Valkyrie commander had expected to face desperate survivors. Instead, he found himself confronting someone who radiated confidence and capability. "Humanity," Elder Korvac announced, "has earned something rare in galactic history: our respect. You have proven that conquest is not the only relationship possible between species." Dr. Harrison, representing the Underground Coalition, stepped forward. "We never wanted war. We wanted freedom, the right to exist as ourselves, to grow and explore the universe on our own terms." "That right," Korvac replied, "you have more than earned." The negotiations that followed would reshape both species' understanding of strength and survival. Humanity had proven that true victory came not from superior firepower, but from adaptability, determination, and the refusal to accept defeat. As the Valkyrie ships departed Earth's orbit, they carried with them a new understanding of human nature. The galaxy's newest members would not be subjects of an empire, but partners in exploration and growth. Maya stood on the surface of Earth for the first time since her enhancement, watching the alien ships disappear into the stars. Around her, humans emerged from underground shelters and hidden colonies, blinking in sunlight they hadn't seen for 15 years. The underground revolution was complete, but humanity's greatest adventures were just beginning. In the depths below, the facilities that had hidden and protected humanity's future now served as laboratories and training centers for the next phase of human evolution. The species that had once lived on a single world was now ready to walk among the stars as equals, carrying with them the lessons learned in the darkness below. Earth's children had proven that some flames could never be extinguished. They could only burn brighter when pressed by darkness.